It's like inventory box be like.
Ink ribbon.
I made a Resident Evil themed coin pusher, and this is the story behind it. So I've been working on a game called Psycho Dive, which is a Resident Evil inspired sort of PS1 whatever game, and turns out it's very, very time consuming to make a game. And I'm working on it like every day, and I even like have someone helping me now, and it's still like, so I needed to take a break and just do some little fun project, and I stumbled onto this coin pusher game, and I was like, this is really fun and addictive. I want to make one, and it was partially to test my Unreal Engine programming skills, which I am very happy that I was able to do like 99% of this on my own. But of course, if it's a coin pusher, I got to make it Resident Evil themed, and that's exactly what I did. Once I got the base mechanics working, I decided on the coins, which originally I was looking at doing the Mr. Raccoon medals from Outbreak. I was looking at some other ideas, and then eventually I just couldn't help but self-insert and make ink ribbon coins because why not? It's my game. It started off a little ugly, but it slowly started coming together. You have to remember, like, a lot of games look like this initially. They're just like squares or just placeholder stuff, because once you get the mechanics working, everything's good. Then you start working on the art and the polish and making it pretty. I have always wanted to see the inventory items from Resident Evil 2 like in 3D, and that's exactly what I was able to do. I modeled them in 3D, and I made them and I put them in, and they're sort of like bonus items because I didn't really know how coin pusher games work, so I started doing research, and I saw a lot of them had little prizes and things and items that fall into the coins. And then I learned about the Dave and Buster's coins. Coin machines have like cards, and if you get the full set, there's like all these rules. But I was like, okay, we're not doing all that. We're just gonna have the inventory items, and that's gonna be enough, because this is just like a fun project on the side. I'm not gonna go super ultra HD realistic, but I wanted them to look nice, so I just kept thinking back to Darkside Chronicles, and I really liked those level of graphics, so I aimed for like Wii level graphics, but maybe slightly more better materials, like with metallics and stuff like that. And if you're wondering about the animal ears, this is what goes on my Twitch streams. That'll do. I could touch up the textures, but we can do that later.
Fairy Cake just redeemed animal ears.
Oh boy, animal ears. Oh my god, why is everyone redeeming everything?
Abarm92 just redeemed Flex Pecs.
Oh, I'm still wearing my shirt. Who's gonna milk me? But yeah, during my Twitch streams, I was showing how I was like making some of the items, and we were figuring out some of the mechanics. That's when I came up with the idea for idle mode, which was like an amazing little like brain. So here are all the items in Blender. I went by the, there's a sprite sheet that shows like all the items in Resident Evil, and I was gonna do more. I wanted to do the weapons, but those are really time consuming. And then there's also the ammo, but it came down to stuff being simply too big for a coin pusher game. Things being too big for a coin pusher game, because if like a rocket launcher lands, it's literally not even gonna fit on the board, let alone, you know, just pushing all the coins off. So I had to kind of pick and choose. Like, I really wanted to do the valve handle, but it was just too big. But I did do like the classic G-Virus, which looks a lot better in-game. We got Claire Stones, we got Leon's plugs, there's the ink ribbon coin. Those are the weapon card key and the card key that Marvin gives you. So all the Resident Evil items that you could desire. Had to put the crank in there. That was like the last one where I was like, wait, one more. You're bored and it would break the game. Oh, the crank. Oh my god, we can't forget the crank. Got the Mo disc, which I'm not really happy with how it turned out, but you know, it's done, whatever. I might add more items in the future, like maybe like the lighter or something, but we'll see. I didn't want to like go crazy, you know. So here's the board in case you want to break the immersion. It's just in a skybox. These purple things that are around are actually boundaries, because I found that sometimes the coins would like explode and just go flying off into space, and I needed something to keep them like in bounds. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Now I'll do a quick showcase of the inventory items because I'm actually pretty proud of them. The stones are really not that great because I just took the texture from the inventory screen. I found the most HD one I could find, and then I just like upscaled them and stuck them onto the squares you know, I was like, whatever, because I didn't want to make this texture from scratch. And I know that these are not accurate to the original Resident Evil 2. They're from Resident Evil 1 Remake, but sue me. And this is the G-Virus. So you can see I got a little bit of glass materials in there. It's like, ooh. I don't know if you guys care, but like I love being able to see the Resident Evil 2 inventory items in 3D because we don't really get to see them in 3D. First aid spray, the red jewel, or I guess red jewels, one of my favorite key items from Resident Evil 2. So there you go. And then just to show you a fun little thing, when I was testing, I had this little cheat code for myself set up where if I just pressed the button, I could just spawn all the items I wanted, just random. And it's just like, oh my god, avalanche. It's like inventory box be like. Ah. Okay. Anyway, so we did a second Twitch stream where I was just so into this project and I was like, I want to finish it. And we did the rest of the items. We came up with some of the last minute stuff. That was when I came up, like literally right at the end of the stream. I was like, oh, what if there's something where they can click to like raise the meter, which I'll explain all the mechanics in a second. But it was a lot of fun and I'm looking forward to eventually doing more projects. But let me just show you the whole, this is how the game works, and you can see for yourself. Okay, so here's the final mechanics. I'll explain how everything works, but let me reset. And every time you reset, there's one bonus item, and it's randomized, so it could be any of the key items. The music's also randomized. Let's get the handgun bullets, because that tends to be like one of the best items I've found. There we go, handgun bullets. So those umbrella coins, I can't remember if they're worth 25 coins or worth 10 coins, but they're a bonus. And the bullets do count as an item, but it's kind of like an item you don't want because everything here is based on size. That's what makes things valuable. And if I hit control, that's just general arcade ambiance if you prefer that. We got Sherry's theme. We got that song from the lab. Of course, the save theme. That's my favorite for this. It's very relaxing. Main hall, because of course. Now I know this is Resident Evil 3, but I threw this in there just because it's got the vibes, you know. And there you go. And then if you hit shift, you can just mute the music. So you see this blue meter going up on the side. If you every time that fills up, you get a coin. So when you're out of coins, which happens, you can sit here and make it go faster, or you can hit F, or I found out you can do both and make it go even faster, but that can just give you a way to fill up the coins faster if you're impatient. And I added idle mode, which if you click that, it will just drop a coin randomly for like, I think I set it between half a second and 3 seconds. It will just drop a coin. So if you're someone who just wants to have this on in the background and relax and just let it do its thing, I like to have this on while I'm working on my other monitor. So like I'll just look over and see like what's going on. The last thing is the bonus meter, which let me just drop a whole bunch of coins, because the meter that's next to the blue meter, every time you fill that, you get a special bonus, which I would like to show you. So I'm gonna fast forward to having activated that. Actually, before I do that, we're about to drop the handgun bullets. Every time you drop an inventory item, it will spawn a new one, and that kind of keeps the momentum going a little bit. So okay, the umbrella coin, let's see how many I get. Okay, 10 coins. The umbrella coin is worth 10 coins. And there we go, we got the club key, because the umbrella coin does count as an item. But you see that the key didn't really do much for pushing, so it's interesting because it becomes all about the size and the weight of whatever the inventory item is. Like keys and the plugs or whatever aren't that valuable, but the ones that I found are like first aid spray, handgun bullets, and then Claire's stones. Those are really good for pushing too. So you'll see every time I push coins in, that meter's going up. So I just remembered the other thing that I did is sometimes you just sit there and you're like desperately waiting for something to happen. So I set it so that inventory items will also randomly spawn over a couple of minutes. So like if you wait long enough, you know, something will appear to help push, which is how we got lucky and we got 2 handgun bullets. Oh, it's so satisfying. And we got the diamond key. Okay, so sometimes the coins get stuck like that, and at first I tried really hard to fix it, but then I realized it kind of creates a little, like, especially if you're like OCD, you're like, oh my god, I need to knock that coin down, and eventually it will get knocked down. So just an extra accidental bit of fun. See, boom, we just knocked it down. There are also these 2 sections on the side where the coins can go, and those are kind of just like the gutter. Like if anything falls in either of those, they don't count. The reason I did that was because it was too easy or whatever. Oh, here we go. It's a good push. Boom. Oh, never mind. It got stuck. I know this is horrible, but a lot of game design is basically like giving a rat a food pellet if they keep pushing the button. That's like basically what this game comes down to. Like that's what it feels like. And I know it works because it works on me. Okay, you guys ready to see this bonus? It's about to drop. So if the meter's not full, you hear that. But now that the meter's full, this is the bonus. Ink ribbon. As you can see, that really helps push the coins. And then it kind of creates a snowball effect because you push all those coins, which fills the ink ribbon meter more, and then it just keeps going and going, and before you know it, it's just like, oh my god, so many coins. And items. Goodness. See, here we go. We got the ball rolling now. So there you go. That's the coin pusher game. Just a little extra information. One of the things I learned doing this project was physics were everything, because the initial physics were all off. Some of the items were way too light, mainly the coins, but you know, there was like other issues, and then sometimes like the coins would just start jumping all over the place and then explode. Like it was all over the place. But there was also stuff like friction or lack of friction. So like metal is slippery, but not too slippery. So I had to keep tweaking all the numbers, and it was just like, but I have updated this. I'm on version 1.7. So there's been like 8 or 9 revisions of this, and it should all be working. The UI obviously is not pretty, but it works for now. So I'm just leaving it. I'll update it eventually when I get around to it. Another thing that I saw in the early comments when I was showing this to some people was people wanted me to upload like an hour-long video of just it running. If you guys really want me to, I will. I don't know. That seems, maybe it's just not for me, but if enough of you request that, I'll be happy to put it up with no ads, so it's like, you know, no interruptions or whatever, because, you know, if this helps you sleep or whatever, I'm happy to do it. I'm also looking into possibly making a mobile version of this, but I don't know, because the graphics I'm pretty sure are going to be okay. They might have to be dumbed down, but the physics can probably either eat up your phone's battery or make your phone get very hot or slow down or lag or whatever, and it would only be on Android. Speaking of which, I was going to do an Apple iOS version of this, and turns out you can't. You have to like own Apple products and do all that stuff and have some sort of thing, which I don't have. So to Apple users, I'm so sorry. I can't get that working on Apple phones or computers. Don't blame me, blame them. And lastly, I do have a video game tutorial channel. It's primarily about RPG Maker. It's more designed for people who are just getting into game development. So if you're interested in making games, there's that. But this is actually a great project for learning Unreal Engine, because it's simple. You don't have to make characters, and you can basically make this. But let's say you're a really big fan of like Final Fantasy or I don't know, whatever, Metal Gear Solid, Fortnite, I don't know. You can make your own version of this. So if you guys are interested in a tutorial, let me know in the comments and I'll see about making one. But if you're just interested in making games, just check out my tutorial channel. It's somewhere on my page. But one last thing that I want to throw in here is I feel like it's irresponsible if I don't warn you about this. This can get very addicting, especially if you're the type of person who, like, you know what I'm talking about. If you're that type of person where you can't put something down because it's like constant dopamine hit. So I like to have this on while I'm working, but sometimes I have to turn it off because it's really, like, I can't stop looking at it. So if you're someone who is struggling with productivity right now, maybe save this for after you're done with whatever you're working on. But that's why I added the idle mode, because you can just have it on in the background and kind of just check on it now and then and see, stuff being dropped in. So just keep that in mind. It's I'm not trying to brag, I'm trying to warn you. It's really addictive, because if I can't stop playing it, chances are there's people out there who also can't stop playing it. Oops. Anyway, that's it. It's Resident Evil Coin Pusher. It's free for the Resident Evil community, because I can't help but just make anything into a Resident Evil theme. And this was a fun sort of project, and I'm very proud of myself because I was able to do this without really looking at any tutorials. I actually know how to program all this stuff, and it's an amazing feeling because I've been using Unreal Engine for 4 years, and I'm like, oh my god, I have the power. It's like the Matrix. But I will end this here. I'd love to know your thoughts, and if you want to check it out, obviously the link will be down in the description. You can go play it for free on my itch.io page and check out some of the other little games and stuff that I made. But thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for being Resident Evil fans and for all the support. And go drink some water. Until next time, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon. And a very special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your extra support means the world to me and helps me keep making content for you guys.